All right. 9. It is his in giving counsel on important affairs to deliver his opinion with cleverness and dignity. It is his to rouse a people when they are languid and to calm them when immoderately excited. By the same power of language, the wickedness of mankind is brought to destruction and virtue to security. Who can exhort to virtue more ardently than the orator? Who can reclaim the vice from vice with greater energy? Who can reprove the bad with more asperity or praise the good with better grace? Who can break the force of unlawful desire by more effective reprehension? Who can alleviate grief with more soothing consolation? By what other voice, too, than that of the orator is history, the evidence of time, the light of truth, the life of memory, the directness of life, the herald of antiquity committed to immortality? For if there be any other art which professes skill in inventing or selecting words, if anyone besides the orator is said to form a discourse and to vary and adorn it with certain distinctions, as it were, of words and thoughts, or if any method of argument or expression of thought or distribution and arrangement of matter is taught except by his one art, let us confess that either that of which this art makes profession is foreign to it, or possessed in common with some other art. But if such method in teaching be confined to this alone, it is not, though professors of other arts may have spoken well, the less on the account the property of this art. But as an orator can speak best of all men on subjects that belong to other arts, if he makes himself acquainted with them, as Crassius observed yesterday, so the professors of other arts speak more eloquently on their own subjects, if they have acquired any instruction from this art. For if any person versed in agriculture has spoken or written with eloquence on rural affairs, or a physician, as many have done, on diseases, or a painter upon painting, his eloquence is not on that account to be considered as belonging to any of those arts. Although in eloquence, indeed, such is the force of human genius, many men of every class and profession attain some proficiency even without instruction. But though you may judge what is peculiar to each art when you have observed what they severely teach, yet nothing can be more certain than that all other arts can discharge their duties without eloquence, but that an orator cannot even acquire his name without it, so that other men, if they are eloquent, borrow something from him, while he, if he is not supplied from his own stores, cannot obtain the power of speaking from any other art. 10. Catullus then said, although, Antonius, the course of your remarks ought by no means be retarded by interruption, yet you will bear with me and grant me pardon, for I cannot help crying out, as he in the Trinimus says, so ably do you see to me to have described the powers of the orator, and so copiously to have extolled them, as the eloquent man indeed must necessarily do. He must extol eloquence best of all men, for to praise it he has to employ the very eloquence which he praises. But proceed, for I agree with you that to speak eloquently is all your own, and that if anyone does so on any other art, he employs an accomplishment borrowed from something else, not peculiar to him or his own. The night, added Crassius, has made you polite to us, Antonius, and humanized you, for in yesterday's address to us, you described the orator as a man that can do only one thing, like a waterman or a porter, as Cecilius says, a fellow void of all learning and politeness. Why, yesterday, rejoined Antonius, I had made it my object, if I refuted you, to take your scholars from you. But now, as Catullus and Caesar make part of the audience, I think I ought not so much to argue against you as to declare what I myself think. It follows, then, that as the orator of whom we speak is to be placed in the forum and in the view of the public, we must consider what employment we are to give him, and to what duties we should wish him to be appointed. For Crassius yesterday, when you Catullus and Caesar were not present, made, in a few words, the same statement in regard to the division of the art that most of the Greeks have made, not expressing what what he himself thought, but what was said by them. That there are two principal sorts of questions about which eloquence is employed, one indefinite, the other definite. He seemed to me to call that indefinite in which the subject of inquiry is general, as whether eloquence is desirable, whether honors should be sought, and that definite in which there is an inquiry with respect to particular persons or any settled and defined point, of which sort are the questions agitated in the forum and in the causes of and disputes of private citizens. These appear to me to consist either in judicial pleadings or in giving counsel, for that third kind, which was noticed by Crassus, in which I hear Aristotle himself, who has fully illustrated these subjects, added, is, though it be useful, less necessary. What kind do you mean? Asked Catullus. Is it panegyric? For I observe that is introduced as a third kind.